Cool. Hello and welcome back to MultiTap Gaming. This is Andesino here, and I think this is our 27th podcast. So, boy, we've been doing this for quite a while. So, once again, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment on the channel, ask us any questions. We're all happy to help. But as you can see today, it's only three of us today. We have in the top left corner, we have Ams.
You cool?
And then down at the bottom, we've got CJ.
C's.
And of course, myself, Andesino. So it's been a big week this week. I mean, something big that we've been waiting for about 7 to 8 years has just come out. So we'll go through a little bit about it. And also we'll go through a couple of the other news that's been going on as well. But first of all, as we always do, what have we been playing this week? I think it's going to be a bit obvious for some of us. But yeah, let's put it around the table now. What's been going on this week?
Go on, Abs. Because I'm sitting here thinking, I know you've both been playing Cyberpunk. Yeah. I'm going to sit here because...
I was going to say knowledge is power, mate.
Oh,
yeah, come here. You don't know.
That's the thing.
Like, that's my game.
Earlier in the week, I was ill and I was tired. I'd come home and just sleep. So I started playing Cyberpunk. I want to say yesterday. No, the day before yesterday.
Yeah.
So I started playing on Friday, I think.
I'm sitting here like the sport brat. Everyone knows I'm trying not to play. I can't play with all this flipping until these patches are out and they fix these bugs around. I'm being a sport brat, but I might play it today. I downloaded it. I paid, but yeah, I'm not sure.
So you've literally not like even touched it at all. Nothing.
Well, luckily I got the opening scene about 2 minits before we started recording.
Yeah.
So I saw that.
Some of us haven't even seen the opening scene yet. Anyway, so.
All right, we'll get on to Cyberpunk later. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I've been playing.
Okay, so what mainly Cyberpunk for everyone? I mean, obviously CJ, you haven't started it yet, but
yeah. So I was playing Worms Rumble.
All right.
You know what? It's quite fun. To be fair, as a I think you did a free download. Yeah, I'm quite happy to just whack that on every now and again if just to break up some of the games I'm playing. I played with Ams the other day and my cousin. It was jokes. Like it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. There's tech to it.
What is it like the original Worms? Yeah.
No. It's well. What would you say, Ams? You feel like it's like the original or not?
No, the original was turn-based, isn't it? This one is freeform. You're running around killing people.
Okay.
All the weapons are there though, so they have like the holy bomb, they have the banana bomb, the goat rocket launcher. So everything's there. It's just
unstoppable gun.
Yeah. They've unleashed you now.
To get into it.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
It'll be a good one for all of us to play, just like every now and again.
It's like Fallout.
Who's the best in it? We'll put a little competition out there.
You're the shooter guy.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that later. All right. Okay. So. We're just going to go through a bit of the news anyway. So one thing that's been coming up on the news, not just this week, but for quite a while now, is about loot boxes. Yeah. So it's becoming a big problem apparently. Or are people just taking it out of proportion? What do you think?
Well, you know what, I saw an article, I think yesterday, and it was some Scottish MP, and he actually brought it up, and he's like, it's basically borderline gambling at the end of the day, and it's like starting to put that gambling mentality into children from the early doors, and that it may seem like a really high push, but it is quite there. I actually believe it's there. Like, you got to think about how people, when I ask my little cousins and stuff, like, oh, what do you want for your birthday present? And they're like, yeah, I just want coins. V-Bucks. Yeah, like V-Bucks, coins, and like, I'm just like, that's mad, fam. And I don't think they're actually understanding the value of money. It's kind of just like, once it gets put into coins or bucks, like, you're not really understanding that you're spending every time. Where before, like, kids will actually appreciate games. You know, you get a brand new game, pinky here, there, and everywhere. Now they're like, oh yeah, just let me have £10. Let me have £10. It's dangerous, man. It's dangerous.
Well, what do you think?
I think
do you think it's kind of...
I agree with that, but also I think it's just scummy. Like, you go into a casino and they do stuff to keep you gambling, like free alcohol, they set an atmosphere, play music. They're charging us to get into the casino and then charging us to play in the casino and locking off all the fun unless we play in that casino. I think loot boxes, packs, they're all scum. and
It's dangerous.
it needs to go. It's not. It's.
Yeah.
I understand. Like people saying free to play games, it makes sense. It does because you haven't spent your now £70 to play that game to go spend more money on it. But even then, I don't want it to be there. A lot of games. So like recently, some governments have outlawed it. Said it's not happening here. So I've heard recently FIFA.
I think Sweden or something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
I think Norway, Holland, and Sweden. Yeah, but EA has recently done a patch on their game where it allows them to turn off the pack market in certain markets.
Okay.
Otherwise, they have to make it 18, and I think they know what they're doing, man. They make so much money from it.
They're finding their workarounds, aren't they? But the fact that they had been forced to make that patch, I think is a good stepping stone anyway. And they're right, like, if we call it what it is, which is gambling, because you're buying stuff without knowing what you're going to get anyway.
For a reward.
And if you don't get the one you want, you're going to buy again.
You have to pay more,
It's gambling, and therefore the games will be 18s, and that could really take a strain on some of the games. Do you know what I mean? Imagine if FIFA was at 18. They're big problems.
Wow. That would be mad. I mean, say for example, games like Fall Guys or games where when you actually put money into the game, that you get cosmetic items rather than getting an advantage. Would you say that's gambling as well, or would you say that's all right?
Would you reckon, Ams?
It's hard because DLC costumes and stuff like that, if they're cheap, I don't have a problem with it. Extra characters, I don't have a problem with it. It's when it's a core mechanic of the game. So like players for your football team or basketball team, that's a core mechanic. The best guns in the game, that's some core mechanic. They also, I have a problem with them arguing it's not gambling because you're always getting something. But
technically, it's true though.
It's true.
Technically, it's true.
But it's gambling with. Is it a win rate? Because you're saying I'm winning, but if I don't get what I want, I'm not actually winning, am I?
Yeah.
I mean, if I gamble for the football team I want and I don't get the player I want, I'm gonna go again. So therefore, you could. I mean, if you went in the casino, it's the same thing. You get those small wins on those little machines, and it makes you continue to want to actually play because you're thinking, well, actually, if I can get a small win, maybe I can get the big win, and it just draws you back in. As for the skins and stuff, it's borderline. I guess it'd be hard to argue that that's gambling because
you're paying for it outright.
You know what you wanted, you know what you're getting, but it's that fact that you're making it available. Like games before, you would have the skins. You can just change there may be a certain limitation, you know what I mean, to what you can have. You can change to these sort of variations, but now it's kind of like, oh, do you have that skin? Like, I need that one. You lot all bought this one. I need to have that too. You know what I mean? It's very forceful with the mentality that people have these days, is that I need to have what everyone has. If they made it free, then and you're just adding value to the game, because I've already paid for the game and you're just using value for customers and you want to keep the brand going that way, I'd appreciate it. But obviously, everything is a market. They have to make money in it. They have to make money in this life.
It's mad, because like even in like primary school, like kids are getting bullied because they haven't got a battle pass for Fortnite, or you haven't got. I don't know what skins are in Fortnite. Or I haven't played that game in years, innit? But you haven't got this skin, or you haven't got this gun, or whatever.
You haven't got the dance and that. The signature move. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's just gonna fuel you to put more money into the game.
I think it depends with skins. For me, if you're getting it in packs, I still think it's scummy. But if you're getting it like a lot of fighting games do it with they do like a pass or a pack, a fighter pack free. You buy that pack, it gives you characters and costumes for your characters. It tells you what you're gonna get, you pay for it and you get that. That's how it should work in gaming. I don't think you should be paying for that stuff. That stuff used to be unlockable. Yeah. And they changed that. But if you are gonna do it the one way, it needs to be I pay for it and I get it.
Yeah. I think they need to put something in place where it's the same structure throughout. It shouldn't be allowed to do this.
Yeah.
Because now it's basically you can just make a free game.
Yeah.
And it's free, but you know that the mentality of that they're pushing in with the gambling and stuff, you know people are gonna buy. They're gonna spend because the game was free, so I can just spend. And a £5 here and a £5 there, 100 times, Yeah, I mean, like, it's a big difference. You don't even realize. You don't realize, man. You don't realize. So yeah, it is. I'm not here for it. I think they're right. I think it's gambling.
Okay, cool. So what you think? Do you think that say like companies like EA putting in the patches to prevent buying packs? Do you think that's something that should be looked to do more in the future, or say for example making the grind more hard kind of thing? What do you think is the best kind of solution, or just cut it out altogether?
Take it out of your game.
Yeah. We'd all want them to take it out, innit? We'd all want to. Yeah, we're being honest.
It's not going to happen though.
No, we're not.
They make more money from that than the game itself, innit? So.
Yeah. But if it just shows you, if they've had to put that patch in, then they know there's a level of truth to it.
Well, they're just covering their asses, isn't it? They're saying, these countries, they've told us we can't do it, or we're getting fines and we have to change our game's rating. So cut it off in those countries. They're just going to do it and keep jumping. Oh, this country's doing it. Okay, jump, turn them off. Yeah. It's difficult. Okay, so I don't think it will change. I'd love it to, but I don't think there's enough pushback behind it. Maybe now that there's certain MPs are speaking about it and they may be looked into more, especially the fact that many people are locked down, a lot more people are gaming.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
We start to venture into the psychological side to it, but right now they're gonna keep getting that money.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's sad, man, because where loot boxes and stuff like that, it's forced people to commit suicide and stuff like that because you spend so much money. You don't even know how you're going to get the money back and you've got nothing to show for it apart from an ultimate team or something like that. It's a bit mad, isn't it? But hopefully that gets sorted out in the future. Yeah. All right. So as we were talking about before, a big release came out this week that we've been waiting for about 7-8 years. And that is, of course, Cyberpunk 2077. So CJ, as you said already, haven't managed to actually play it just yet. But myself and Ams, we played it on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. But I just wanted to get your views on it at the moment. I'm like, what are you thinking about the game?
Like I told you in the group, it's a good game, but it has problems, and people are arguing that the problems are the bugs. It's more than the bugs. It's not a 10 out of 10 game, and it's not a 10 out of 10 game that got a 9 because of the bugs. It got a 9 because that's probably what it deserves. There's some shortfalls in the game. It's very, don't get me wrong, it's very fun. I can admit when a game's fun. A game doesn't have to be 10 out of 10 to be fun. Some 10 out of 10 games aren't fun. I think, it's a good game. It's fun. It's not a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination. And
wow.
It has potential.
Serious words from the heart here.
I think once everything's fixed, it will be a solid 9 out of 10. I don't think
it's so funny, that was like a statement from Amulet. Like it was a direct statement towards somebody. I don't know who it was towards. I'm not saying any names.
The whole gaming community.
He looked directly at that camera and told them what he thought.
The thing is, I've told Andon, it has the bones to be a masterpiece. But there's systems they have to change to make it that way. They have to change the crafting, change the skill trees slightly, because some things you're just never going to get. The leveling is done badly. Driving's bad. The minimap's bad. Wow. Combat is fun, but they need to improve the melee combat. I've enjoyed parts of it. I use a samurai sword in the game, and I've enjoyed that. But punching could be better. Stealthing when you're taking enemies down.
What?
Yeah.
I'm hearing stuff I've 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I'm just saying, these are the things. I think I need to go through all of the bad things just so people would understand why I'm saying this game does not deserve a 10. I do believe that if they do go in and fix those things, like games have done in the past, like No Man's Sky's done, this could be a 10 out of 10 game. But it's not going to be there now, even if they fix the bugs.
Yeah. Anna, before I ask your impressions, I was just going to ask you, are we being out of order because we want it to be a 10 out of 10 game? Like, there's not many, I don't know, I don't feel like there's many, like, you can give it, everything is perfect. Like, we're looking for perfection out of a game. And it's kind of like we're saying, it's a 9, but that's not enough. Because a 9 is a good game, bro. If we mean it's a very good game. Like, that's levels. To ask you this question as well.
Oh, serious? Literally about to ask you the same question as well, yeah. The problem is the game was announced about 7 years ago. It's been in development for a long time. So much money has gone into this game. And obviously the last game that the CD Projekt Red released was The Witcher 3, which got critical acclaim. So I think a lot of people were expecting a certain level of game kind of thing coming into this. And unfortunately for CD Projekt Red, it's put so much pressure on them to deliver. And everyone's thinking that we're going to get a 10 out of 10, an 11 out of 10 game. But CD Projekt Red hasn't actually fully delivered. But I don't think it's entirely their fault. However, I do have a couple problems with the way that they marketed this game. Because, first of all, giving out the review copies, only the PC review copies, not giving out any console review copies.
That's bad.
Making sure that you select who it is that you give it to and all of that kind of stuff. Telling them when they review it to only show B-roll that they've picked out for you, so you can't even give out your own playthrough.
That wasn't even B-roll.
It's crazy. Like,
a lot of people said it's trailer
they literally
footage.
said you have to use our footage of the game. Don't use your footage of the game.
Wow.
And I mean, for me, when I heard about that on Monday, whenever the reviews came out, I saw that something's definitely wrong. I can understand you might want to protect the story. You don't want the story to come out or anything like that, which, of course, you don't want to spoil it for everyone in it. But if they're telling you don't even use your own footage, something's got to be wrong there. So, little stuff like that. I mean, CD Projekt Red, I think they dropped the ball on this one, but they've got a lot of the back end of gamers in it. I think eventually they're just going to come back into it and all of that. They'll patch it up. People will stick with them and all of that kind of stuff. But it's not good enough for a £50 game.
Yeah.
Not good enough. No way.
What I will say is, before I got the game, I was happy with a 9.
Yeah.
I was accepting, games get 9s. It's only once I played it, saw everything they had. I'm about 25 hours in now. Once I saw everything they had, that's when the disappointment came in. Because I was thinking everything is there for you to make a 10 out of 10. But a lot of the systems feel like they got to 80% and were like, I'll put it out. We don't have time. And it went from acceptance to disappointment. Which I can't imagine how people who went into the game wanting a 20 out of 10 are feeling right now. Maybe they still love it and they're thinking it's still a 20 out of 10. But I'm just, I don't know if it's disappointment, but I expect once I played it, I thought everything's there for this. They just, a lot of people have been using undercooked it, and that's the truest statement.
One thing I wanted to ask, because as CJ said, it got 9 out of 10, or 90 out of 100 on Metacritic on the PC, but there was huge backlash about it. Are people just taking it a bit too far? Because, I mean, 90 out of 100, is that not a lot? Or
seriously.
It was the hype.
I think, obviously, everything's opinionated, isn't it? At the end of the day, we're all going to have a strong opinion, no matter what side of it is going to go. Like, but it just seems like the opinions at the moment are a lot more negative based on expectation. You know what I mean? It's hard to actually put down a game, because if we wasn't given so much in terms of like the time frame you said and how many people are supporting it, the expectation wouldn't be there. So this was just a good game that's come out, has a few bugs, that'll get fixed, good stuff. But like Amulet said, I haven't played it, but he's telling me, if everything was working and it was, would it be 100%? Would it be 10 out of 10?
If everything was finished, I think it would be 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Because the characters are really good in it, but...
So I actually think they're entitled to be disappointed, because I'd rather 100% game that's a 9 out of 10 than 80% or 90% game that's a 10 out of 10, supposedly. Because now it's not going to be a 10 out of 10, is it? It's going to be an 8 out of 10. You're forcing the game to become worse than what it is. Like I said, like I've been a spoiled brat. I'm trying not to play it because I don't want to be. I don't want to be disappointed. I'm seeing the disappointment for you guys. I'm like, I don't need this. No, thank you. I will happily wait.
It's fun. I've enjoyed my experience. From what I've played on my first impressions, it's carried very well by the characters. Like, people say you lose yourself in the world. For me, it hasn't been the world. It's been the characters I've met and the relationships I've built in the game that have been really good.
Right. I'm looking at their I saw something about their sales, and on release day with pre-orders, they're already in profit. Like they've recovered the cost of marketing, they've covered the cost of production of the game, and that's like what in pre-orders. That is crazy. That is actually so now. If they've released it and the pressure's off because the sales have been made and the money's now back, you mean, is that gonna? Do you think that'll speed up the process of these patches? Do you think more people playing and them getting the data is gonna speed up patches and
pressure? I think pressure's still on at the moment because although they've already made a profit, they also lost a lot of money when the share prices dropped because they lost a lot more from share prices. So I think they need that to recover. And I think to do that, they'll need to get rid of bugs. And I think once the next gen version comes out, if they release that without bugs, that will bring this game back into a conversation and will probably raise their share prices because everyone who's getting their consoles around that time will want to play this. I think that'll help them massively.
Do we think, now this is just hypothetical, they put this out on the PS4 with that mindset that it's not what we need it to be right now. It's fine. We're happy with that. We're going to bring out the next gen one and we're going to sell it to you again. They're going to come like GTA. But everyone's going to buy the game again. And they're going to add a little side on top. Oh, we couldn't just change it from PS4 to PS5 or Xbox X Series X. I mean, like, and then they just absolutely kill it in terms of sales.
I think they were too ambitious with what they were trying to produce, and it got to a point where I think they've probably been a bit muffled up as to how much of the world they wanted to produce, the combat and all of that, and the RPG elements. And rather than focusing on certain things, so making it a 10 out of 10, everything's kind of like an 8 out of 10. But it all works, to be honest, in it. So in terms of the PS4, I think their main priority was the PC and PS5 and Xbox Series X. So it runs well on them. But with the PS4, I think the PS4 is just not built to run a game like this, and the Xbox One is not built to run a game like this. But they also, I don't think they tried a lot with it, to be honest. I think they were focusing too much on the PC and the next gen, and they dropped the ball completely with the PS4 and the Xbox One. Like, it's terrible to. I mean, I'm sure some of you have seen some of the YouTube videos out of some of the glitches and all of that going on the PS4 and the Xbox One. It is a joke at the moment. So with that one, they do need to sort it out because PS5s are not coming out for a long time. It's hard to get your hands on one at the moment. Same as the Xbox Series X. So people are gonna have to stick with this for at least for the next couple of months. And I can't be playing a game where it takes 10 seconds for a face to render in. It's a joke, mate. They need to sort it out. So
for anyone that's watching, I'd be interested to hear from you guys as well, your comments on the fact that did you buy it on PS4? How are you experiencing any bugs, if any? And is that now forcing you to want a next gen console? Because I also think about that sometimes.
It's not even perfect on next gen consoles because I've been getting bugs non-stop, even on the next gen console. A lot. But
I mean that thought process that games now are being developed for next gen consoles, without the thought of PS4, PS5, Xbox, and stuff like that. So is that going to force people to obviously move into next gen? Obviously, a lot of people want it, but I know with consoles, we do wait. Sometimes people wait. They're like, you know what? But if we're being honest, apart from the frame rate and the stuff and what we're getting from these next gen consoles, everything we're kind of playing at the moment can be played on
the PS4 or the Xbox. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing new at this moment in time. And to be honest, I wouldn't even tell anyone to rush to buy a PS5 or Xbox Series X right now.
Not for this game.
Yeah. It's going to be the same price regardless when it comes out in 6 months' time or whenever it comes out again.
It'll be cheaper.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't rush to get it. However, unfortunately, if you want to play Cyberpunk, you either need to buy a £2,000 PC or you need to buy a next gen console. That's the only problem. So
one more choice, what I would say is if you have good internet and you really want to play this game, apparently Stadia runs as well as the next gen versions.
Okay.
So if you want to play it, Stadia have a deal where if you buy Cyberpunk, you get the Stadia Premium for free. So they'll send you the controller, they'll send you the Chromecast, and you've got the game, so you can play in whatever. I don't think it'll be 4K. It's not
same price or
I think it's £50.
Yeah, it will be 50 or so. Yeah.
That's a good deal.
But you just need to make sure you have good internet. That's
if you don't, it's gonna play like PS3, probably not even PS4.
Okay. Well, we'll probably get onto Cyberpunk a bit more next week. Yeah, because we don't really want to go into any spoilers or anything like that. And hopefully Tony will be here to join us as well.
Yeah.
But one other big thing that happened this week was the Game of the Year awards, and for me, I enjoyed it because a lot of my predictions came true. To be honest, for some other people, it wasn't actually the same. So, but it is what it is. But I wanted to go through the top 4 awards that were given out and the nominations, and just go through who we thought should have won or who should have come in the top 3 kind of thing. So, for best art direction, you had Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and The Last of Us Part 2. Ghost of Tsushima were the one that won this. Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
Well, we got one that definitely agrees, yeah.
Artistically, the game was beautiful, like with all the trees and everything. I think it's a worthy winner. If they had I don't think anyone feels upset about that one. If they had given that to Last of Us, the game's beautiful, but art direction wise, I don't know if they well, I know they wouldn't have deserved to win it over other games. Even Ori and the Will of the Wisp, from what I've seen, I played it for a short while, but it looks very nice. But yeah, I think it's a worthy winner there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking that. I was torn. I was thinking Ori and the Blind Forest,
Will of the Wisp.
Will of the Wisp. Yeah, I was thinking that really does look stunning, but how much change is there throughout the game? Arguably, not that much. There you can clearly see there's a lot more time spent on Ghost in terms of the art. Like Amulet said, like when you're flowing through the game and the changes that you see throughout and just the design. I don't even know why. I don't feel that Final Fantasy should be in there. That's just my own personal one. I think it's a clear jump from where it was to where it is, but I don't think that puts it in the running. But again, I can't say much on that. Last of Us won so much, man. It's just give it someone else anyway, man. Just think about how much can you win? It's enough.
They wanted to win the whole awards.
Honestly,
I think I very much agree with you a lot, to be honest. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, beautiful game, man. Some of the trees, like just everything that was, it was just so beautiful to watch at times, to be honest. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, for me, that would have probably come second for me, to be honest. The lighting effects and everything like that, especially on the Series X, it's proper. It's proper, to be honest, in it. But yeah, I agree with that as well, to be honest.
Has anyone played Hades by any chance? Obviously, like we know, we're not PC gamers, guys. We don't tend to venture that thing. I don't know if anyone's seen any reviews on it at all.
I haven't played it yet.
I've seen reviews. Yeah, I've seen reviews. It's got very, very good reviews. Yeah. It's kind of like, it's not an auto scroller, but what them kind of games where you look from above at the player and then he's fighting people and stuff like that. Yeah, I can't remember what them kind of games are called. Yeah. Top down game. Yeah, so
action game. Use a sword. Apparently, it's a really good game. With good mechanics.
Well, it has to be. It's in
a lot of awards.
Yeah.
I looked at it. It didn't interest me, but that's just not my type of game. So
yeah. Okay, so the next big award of the night was the best narrative. So this is mainly about the story, how the story flowed, and how it was told in the end. So this one, The Last of Us Part 2 one, which caused quite a bit of controversy. But you also had Ghost of Tsushima, 13 Sentinels. To be honest, I don't even know what that game is. Final Fantasy VII, and Hades again. So what do we think about that?
It's clear winner, man. Let's be honest. Anybody just fighting, you're just fighting yourself at this stage. You can't. There's nothing like I don't know. Obviously, they have to put other people in for nominees, but if they could just put Last of Us 5 times, I think I would have been like, that's fine. I don't know.
I would have. I think Last of Us had a better story than Ghost, but I want to give a special shout out to Ghost in terms of how they were able to display that part of Japan during those times. I think they've done well. The story isn't super complex, but they were stuck with having to fit it somewhat within what was going on historically, and I think they've done that very well. Final Fantasy was a good story. Final Fantasy VII's always been a good story. It didn't grip me like the other two games, Final Fantasy. That's the only thing I'll say. And I think
But good story for the type of game it is, or really good story overall.
It
I don't know
again,
if that's
like Ghost. It's not a complex story, no matter what anyone says.
Well, this is what I mean.
And I think they done more with Ghost for me.
Yeah.
But it's a good. It's not a crap story, but it's nothing special.
Okay, I'm trying to think back to the Ghost story, and I'm just kind of like, was there anything really meaningful for me throughout? I like the story. Don't get me wrong, but if I think back to it, was it gripping? Was it kind of like it felt how much of an open world it was as well, and so many side stories and tales and quests and stuff like. It kind of just felt. It didn't. If I just completed the main storyline in one go, maybe I would have felt more from the story overall. You had to do the quests and tells to learn the other characters, so that when you get to the end of it, you understand why they're there and whatever. But ultimately, like I just felt like just a battle. I have to try and beat the king at the end. Like that's how it felt to me. It didn't feel like there's nothing major to
I think the major things were Jin's battle and change, and then what all of his friends were going through. I think that was the main parts of the game, but they weren't the main story. They were supplementary to the main story. And I think maybe if they were part of the main story, the main story would have been more full, but they didn't do that there. Whereas Last of Us was just the main story and it was gripping throughout. I think there was a lot of emotions and the characters, it was acted well. And I think you'd need a great narrative to help that, because you can't just have good actors working with crap.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, I agree with everything you say. Sucker Punch, they really showed a lot of respect to Japan during that time. So the way the story moved and it flowed, I thought it was quite good. But I do think the story was a bit basic, to be honest. It was just like one of those ones where you start off with everything, you lose everything in the first 10 minutes, and then you now need to build up to go and get everything again. But it worked at the end of the day. It was good gameplay. Yeah, the game worked at the end of the day. But yeah, for me, I think Last of Us Part 2. Unfortunately, I haven't played Final Fantasy, so I don't even know what the story is about, to be honest. But yeah, the story for Last of Us Part 2, I thought it was excellent, to be honest. Yeah, for me, I think it was good. Yeah.
It's hard to speak too much about Last of Us overall because we want to speak about it overall. But
some people really hate the fact that Last of Us won, and they think the game is trash, the narrative is trash, the story can go in the bin. But I'd ask those people to send me those tears because I'm thirsty.
Yeah, well.
It was good because I mean. It's funny because even now that I'm playing Cyberpunk, I'm still thinking of the Last of Us Part 2 story in the sense that the people that you're killing, you don't realise that they've got a backstory or whatever. So you're just going around killing everyone mercilessly or whatever. And now that it's come back to haunt you, people have gotten a bit upset about it, thinking, oh, it shouldn't happen this way. But this what will happen in real life, innit? So it is what it is, innit? But cool. So the next big award, the second one was the Last of Us the best game direction, and Last of Us Part 2 won this as well. You had Final Fantasy VII, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and Half-Life Alyx. And before we start here, can I give a big shout out to PlayStation here because games are in everything. Yeah.
Who won this one?
I don't know where Xbox were, but yeah.
I don't think they was invited to this award.
They'll probably buy
they didn't get the email.
Awards. That's what they're doing.
They weren't even close. Yeah. Last of Us Part 2 won that best direction.
I don't think they deserve this one.
Okay.
In terms of game direction, I think the best thing they done was giving you the two sides of the story. But in terms of other games, I think this should have been between Final Fantasy and Ghost for game direction. I think they just done a bit more. The full samurai experience in Ghost, I think they've done it better than anything that's been done before. Even the small things like the wind directing you and animals directing you, I think they've done something that was really good. Like they were looking outside the box a lot more. Final Fantasy feels like they took the system from Final Fantasy 15, and evolved it to work with this game.
Yeah.
And I think it worked very well in there.
I'm gonna be honest. Can I ask quickly? The game direction for me, I didn't understand what gave it to them overall. Like, what are they looking for from game direction? Just how you get through your storyline, or
Unless they're talking about directors.
I think it's actually like directing, like what a director would do in a film. So, in a certain scene, in a certain scene, they might want certain things to happen in a certain way. So I think it will most likely be applicable to cutscenes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, then Last of Us 2 wins.
To cutscenes and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I misunderstood. I think Last of Us 2 wins that clearly.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's what I was getting at. That's how I was trying to just be sure, because that's how I thought was taking it as an impression, and I'm thinking the way they set that game up, where you see different parts of the same cutscenes in different ways, and you know they're not giving you everything overall, so it guides your mind in one direction, and it kind of throws you off track, and then you're relayed that same information in a different way, and it changes your perspective. Fam, no, they done a serious job, man. They done a serious job, and I'd argue that any of the other games on there, I didn't feel that same amount of effort was made across the board. Man, that the effort that Last of Us made was just too extreme for me.
Was Hades on there?
Yeah, Hades was in there as well. Yeah,
that's one we haven't played.
Yeah,
again,
maybe it deserves to win.
It's always going to be argued. If anyone wants to shoot us for something, we can only apologise.
Half-Life Alyx.
No, I ain't played it.
Or watch anything about it.
I've watched stuff about it, and from what I've seen, it takes VR to a new level, and I think there should have been awards specifically
for VR itself.
Not even for VR, just for something like game development. And I think they would have won, because what they've done, from what I've seen, is they've taken VR to a new level, and I think they should have been highlighted for doing that, but they didn't win a single award, and it's like
anything specific that they done, or
just the way that, like, from what I've seen, it looks like a full game that has just been given a VR mode, so you can play the whole game in VR. It looks really good. And they didn't get any celebration for that. And that's a problem.
Maybe I'll try that for the future.
Okay, and then the big one, the game of the year itself. So we had Cyberpunk. Oh wait, no, it didn't make it. We had The Last of Us Part 2, Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy 7, Ghost of Tsushima, and Hades. So there were 6 games. And The Last of Us Part 2 won this one, which I don't know if you lot were watching the YouTube feed live, but the comments were going off.
Exploded.
Comments were going off. Alright, so it's probably
some of the phrases on there, yeah. I've never heard them before. I was just like, some people are creative with their insults.
It's safe to say that a lot of people were not happy, but I'm sure a lot of people were. But a lot of people voiced their discontent quite a lot, to be honest. But all 6 of those games that were on the list, for me, I definitely believe all of them should have been there. I haven't played Animal Crossing, but the way that has gripped the Nintendo community, flipping heck. I mean, I can't remember. Someone posted how many sales they got in 3 months.
It didn't deserve to be there.
That doesn't even make sense.
Honestly, it didn't deserve to be there.
I'm like saying,
really?
sales doesn't make a game good.
It deserved to be in People's Choice. I don't think it deserved to be in Game of the Year. I don't think I don't think popularity shows the quality of a game, because Among Us is 1,000 times more popular than The Last of Us. It's not a better game than The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think its popularity, it should have been in People's Choice. I feel like if that's there, then Among Us should have been in this category, because it was in other categories.
Among Us can get out of here. I don't see that game there. No way.
I think popular. No way. They need to do.
Maybe if you try it, we might get it for you. Little Let's give it a go. Just let us know.
I'll return to sender.
Maybe you can be swayed.
Yeah,
I'll return to sender. That will not download the message. It's a very it's something that people
man.
enjoy, but
Mm.
I don't know if you can give that game of the year. I don't know.
But you have to remember, so it's one of those games here that people will just put hours into.
Oh,
The same
definitely.
way that all of these other games you put hours in, like you put 100 hours into that game easily without even knowing.
And I think
Yeah.
that's what makes the games good because
Mm.
you're looking for a game that's got, the perfect detail, the perfect story, the perfect everything. And that's not always what gaming is about. Sometimes it's just something that keeps you
It
in,
keeps you.
and you just don't even realize you're spending
But-
the time and you're investing your time into it.
Game-
And if a game
Listen,
can
you're,
do
you're
that,
at work, you're like, I need
that
to
is-
crop my plants, all of that. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
you're thinking about.
But the game needs to
You'll
be
be thinking about it all the
spectacular,
time.
not just addictive and popular. If you notice, with a lot of these games, they were in a lot of those games were in a lot of the categories like
Yeah.
art, direction, sound design, all of these things they're doing to a high level. What was Animal Crossing in? This and popularity.
It was gripping the nation.
Nah,
It got us through a tough time as well.
It doesn't
got us
deserve
through
to
a
be
tough
in
time.
there. I don't think. I think they made a game that's popular and people enjoy and people can put hours into, and that's an amazing feat. That doesn't mean you need to win a gaming award for making a spectacular game.
Can I ask you that, yeah? Is there any other game on the Switch that you would have in this category? Because what I'm asking
Obviously,
is,
people
like,
put
for us-
Mario and Zelda in.
Did Zelda come out this year?
No, not this year, but they've been in it in the past.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
This year, I don't think any game from Switch deserves to be in
Literally, the
there.
only other game I know that came out was Super Mario Maker 2. That's literally the only other game.
This
I know.
year, the Switch didn't do anything. But in the past years,
But-
they've had games that deserve to be in there.
Because what I'm asking is, if you look at across the board of what they've done, and then bringing out that game and to the scale that game is, like, I think, like, for a Nintendo game, they've done a good job, man. Like, and they're
They've done
extremely
an excellent
good
No,
job.
but if you look at Breath of the Wild, I'm not that game's biggest fan. I don't think it's 10 out of 10 like everyone else, but it done stuff really good. Like the sound design, artistically is good. It's a good world. So they done the stuff to put it on a certain level.
I think Animal Crossing basically made people buy Switches. Like, a game that made you buy the consoles just so I can play it.
If you
That
don't know-
is
yeah.
next
yeah.
level, like, engagement. That is big steps, I think, personally. Like,
Serious.
if people said now, all right, cool, Cyberpunk came out, it was only on one console, and everyone just said, you know what, I'm not buying next gen Xbox, just gonna buy PlayStation. We'll be screaming this through the rooftops. Like, this game is just, you know what I mean? And that's ultimately what Animal Crossing has done. Is they've made a game where we could, I don't know, I'd argue that, Nintendo's not as big in the UK as it is maybe in other places,
Yeah.
but people bought this game.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't think sales should
you're not just
matter,
buying
though.
the game, you're buying the console so you can play the game.
Listen to this, yeah.
big moves.
So in August, the game came out in March. Yeah, in August, he had already sold 22 million copies in August. So that's 5 months. Yeah, and Nintendo said that the title's popularity lifted profits from April to June to 106 billion a year, which is more than 5 times higher than a year ago.
What?
5 months.
Nah, you're mad. That game
It has
insane.
to be an honorable shout out. It has to.
It's popularity. It's not quality of the game.
But you're not going to buy a game
on this one.
well, 22 million people are not going to buy a game that is trash.
They
Yeah.
do.
Or not good enough.
And
It's
not
like-
They're
return
not
it.
going into.
And not return it, Hamlet.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm not
Because
saying
you
it's
can return
trash.
your game.
I'm not saying it's trash. It can be a good game, a 7, 8 out of 10, and that's highly addictive. People buy it and play it because they love that game.
But this is a full price game. It's not like Among Us that's £4. This
Oh
is
yeah,
a
but
full
it's
price
happening.
game,
Like
yeah.
people will buy Pokemon photos mode game because they enjoy that aspect of Pokemon. There's
Not 22 million.
Obviously it's been boosted by lockdown, but Animal Crossing is the type of game that has a following. It's like Nintendo Pets that had a big following. It doesn't mean it's the best quality game. If I sit in a studio and I make Last of Us 2 and then I look across to see Animal Crossing, I'll be thinking, why am I here? Why am I even working? Why am I putting all this work into graphics? And why am I doing this mocap for this game to be alongside me?
But this is what I'll
Animal
argue.
Crossing has 90 out of 100 on Metacritic. It's there for a reason. It
And
is
you have
there
to-
for a reason.
also,
It's there.
You see, like the last one, you see all this other stuff, like all the extra bits they've put in place that make the game a bit better or better than these other games. Like, you know, it's having specific actors, the narrative, everything about it. All these different things are in place, which amount to making it the game of the year. If you look at what Animal Crossing has done, all these additional bits, it puts them in that frame. They have to be there.
It has to,
Whether the detail is in the game alone, but what they've been able to do with it, and whether it's through marketing or I don't even understand how they managed to do it. But
It's addictive
the way
game
they
that
did
has
it,
a following.
but you have to remember, it's addictive once you play it. You have to buy it before you get
No, but
addicted.
people have played it for generations. It's not the first Animal Crossing.
I know, but I feel like we have to appreciate the fact that.
No,
even-
that's
they
what I
even
said. I've appreciated. They need to make it a popularity award that's like not just people's choice.
No matter what you say to me, it's a
One-
no from me, Jeff.
They need to make an award that says this game's taken the gaming world by storm. Some games do that without being the best game ever.
But it's got high ratings.
Fall Guys is not a 10 out of 10, but people bang that.
But things are they're two different things. And Fall Guys was free as well.
But it was free on PlayStation. It's still sold bears on PC.
£15 on Steam.
Same
This
with
is a
Rocket
full
League.
price game.
This is another game like Fall Guys and Rocket League where people bang it because it's fun and addictive. It's not because it's the best quality game ever.
No,
Listen,
no,
let me give you
can't do
one
that.
last
You
fact
can't do
here.
that.
It is in Japan. It's the second highest selling game of all time, behind Pokemon Red and Blue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you listening to that?
Are you
This
listening to
serious
that?
game.
They put Red and Blue more than other games.
How many blinked at you and said,
This is why that's number 2.
Bro, serious game, man. You don't know what you're talking about, man.
You told me they bought Red and Blue the most times ever, and then they bought Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it's because it's up there.
Our
It's
market's clearly different to theirs.
this is a game that you're gonna tell your kids in about 20 years. I remember
I
when
really
we used to
won't.
all play Animal
It's
Crossing.
like Minecraft.
Yeah,
That's one game that's full price, very fun, very addictive. People play it. People make whole YouTube channels on it. It's not God of War. But it might be in Game of the Year category when it came out because how big it was. I think this was... We need to give sorry to Nintendo. This game has done so well sales-wise and popularity-wise. Let's put them in it. I don't think it's because they looked at this game and were like, oh, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, but that's fair. That's why it's in there. That's why they have the other categories for those reasons. Like, you know, best, you know, all the other best categories. This is the, you know, the group. This is grouping it. You have to put it there. They wasn't in any of the other categories. So your argument stands. That's fair. You said they shouldn't be in them. They weren't there. They're here.
I accept that it's in there. This stuff happens.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you have to...
I accept that it's in there. I'm not going to say start a petition to take it out. I understand why it's in there. I'm just saying it doesn't deserve to be there, in my opinion. If you are one of the 20 million people who bought it and you've played it to this point, and if you're watching this video, you stop watching it to write an evil comment because I've said this, that's fair enough. I put your game down.
Yeah,
but I'm not saying that I don't accept this there because I never played Candy Crush and thought it was a load of crap while everyone was telling me it was good. So maybe I'm just a party pooper.
Maybe.
I like.
Who knows? All right. So the next game on the list was Doom Eternal. So I've been having problems trying to play on my Xbox for some reason. It just won't let me log in, kind of thing. But I think both of you have both played Doom, innit?
I played Doom 2016, not Doom Eternal.
Oh, 2016. Okay, all right. Okay.
Wait,
okay.
man. Amalek even made me buy it and he didn't play it.
I haven't finished Doom 2016 yet.
Yeah, no. Oh, fair. You know what? I played it. I enjoyed parts of it. I haven't given it the hours I expected to. Obviously, I bought it quite late, to be fair, anyway. I still don't see it. I don't know what it is that because obviously we all know Tony's very like he's an absolute
a lot of people
on
are on this game.
Like like it's not screaming like Game of the Year to me at all. I get what you're getting out of it, you know, like the rush, the puzzles, but nah, man. No, I'm not having it. So no, I'm not accepting this one.
Apparently, it deserves best action game. I don't know what won that, but there was
best action.
a lot of people saying it deserves best action game.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Action wise, it's up there, and that's what it will be for me. If I'm just a bit bored, I want to put something on. I'll play it. But that's maybe that's my own opinion. I've got to say, it wasn't like if I was thinking of that, and I was thinking of Ghost, and I was thinking of Final Fantasy, and I was thinking of Last of Us. That's not going on before any of those games.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You didn't play it, did you? Oh, you both didn't play it.
Yeah.
Forget Doom, man.
I didn't.
Tony can slap me about this one later. He can slap me about that one later, man.
Well, that was Tony's game of the year, apart from Cyberpunk, but both of them didn't make it.
No, Final Fantasy as well. So he wanted to win.
Final Fantasy. Okay, yeah. So the next game is Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
so
Tony.
Both of you have played that, so
he won best RPG.
That's true. Yeah, he did win best RPG. Yeah.
He's just lucky that.
But both of you have played that. Do you think that it should have had a shout for winning Game of the Year?
It's a slow year, isn't it? No, really? Let's be honest. If Cyberpunk was hit the deadline, it would have won best RPG. If Demon's Souls hit the deadline and they put it in that category, I don't think it would have won that category. It's a very good game. I prefer Demon's Souls.
Really?
So Cyberpunk.
I really liked Final Fantasy. I enjoyed that game. I think it could go in the list. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Like, no, you made the list. No problem. But we all know, and I'm the advocate for what game won, and I appreciate it. I love that. That was it for me. I don't see like faults in the game. Like, I'm not gonna put it down. I was really happy with that game, and I put a lot of hours into it, and I really enjoyed it, and I think I'm going to play it again. So yeah,
it was a good game. It's not better than Ghost, and it's not better than Last of Us. So it should be in this list, but I don't think it had any chance to win.
Do you think nostalgia helped it in the list?
Nostalgia helped it massively in terms of it as a game. It's also a very good. Like, I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 15, and I think partly nostalgia, partly that they've had more like experience, made it a better game than Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
So it is a good game, but there's levels in it.
Yeah, that's what you have to say.
So the last two, so you have Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
That was my game of the year.
Hades was the last one. Okay.
My game of the year was Ghost. The one thing I think it done better than Last of Us was how fun it was. I played with a steady frame rate, so maybe it was more fun for me.
One thing, Hamlik. That should be our argument alone.
No, I said
one thing.
I said the one thing,
better.
and I changed it to one thing, just one thing, because I also think the art direction was better. I think sound design overall was better. It had side missions, whereas Last of Us didn't. I think there's stuff it has over Last of Us.
There's stuff that you can appreciate it, but all right. Now, because I was thinking, if Man's getting one thing,
no, it's not just one.
Like,
I made a mistake. I corrected.
It's not good enough.
Just check it.
But
I agree. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima definitely deserves to be there, especially how many people played it as well and how many people loved it as well. But you could argue it's popularity contest as well, because when I played on my base PS4, my PS4 was not having it at all. He was not enjoying it at all, to be honest. But I do understand why a lot of people do love the game, to be honest. But I thought it was
maybe it's not a popularity contest because Last of Us won. So
yeah,
true.
For me,
very true.
Between Ghost and Last of Us, it's like Messi and Ronaldo for me. I think Ghost done more well, but what Last of Us done well, it done to such a high level that it probably deserved this award. And I think that's why it got it. That's why the critics gave it to it.
Yeah, because I'd say Ghost is a great game. I really enjoyed that. I spent hours on it. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, man, I was sitting there chilling, and I was absolutely chuffed with just riding my horse around and going to these little bit, just searching. I love to search for stuff. I love to just explore like the whole open world to it. Even though obviously you have to find your missions eventually, but the fact that I could just roam and how beautiful it looked and changing my outfits and my costumes and like everything about the game was great. Like it's masterpiece game for what it was. I haven't played anything else that was with the samurai background, anything like that kind of game at all. So that part of it, being able to just choose my styles and having to change styles throughout, and like there's so many parts to that game that were amazing. And it's just unfortunate. I think if that came out another year without the year of The Last of Us, it definitely wins.
It's a tough game to go up against.
So I think it would be a tough tie, but like we said, man, there's levels to some of the stuff that The Last of Us done that you just can't compete with.
It done some things to such a high level that you can't deny its quality.
Yeah.
Even like
you wasn't as impressionable for you, was it, Andan?
I enjoyed it, but like I said, I played on the base PS4, and my PS4 was just not enjoying the game at all. To be honest, the frame rates were just dropping every 5 seconds and all of that kind of stuff. But it's probably just because of that. Maybe if I played on the Pro or if I put in the PS5 now, it'd probably be much better. But I really do understand why a lot of people love it. To be honest, I can't argue with it, to be honest. I can't argue with.
I think the frame rates made a big difference because for me the combat was the best part of the game. I think that's where the game is infallible.
Yeah, of course.
You need to be able to time your counters to be able to enjoy the combat.
I can't even lie. When they were announcing this award, a part of me thought this was going to win it. That's what I thought. A part of me thought this was going to win it.
I knew it wasn't going to win because they don't go off what people are crying about. They go off what they thought was the best, and the critics thought Last of Us was the best game of the year.
But fans do vote for it as well. So
they do, but I think they get such a small portion that it'll be very hard for them to change it. Okay, and if 90% of the critics have said, "Oh, I like Ghost, but Last of Us is better," then Last of Us is gonna win.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
So,
but I'm not upset. I enjoyed both games. I think we know someone who's upset that they won.
Oh well. The last game was Hades, which unfortunately none of us have actually played too much. So
it's clearly a good game because it was in every category, every major category. It's clearly a good game.
For me personally, I'm gonna look into it because it's there everywhere. So I'm definitely gonna try to look into it and give it a try.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to slag it off, but I'm not going to do that. No. We've got to give it its props. It's there. There's a reason it's there. We probably should have checked out why it was there, but
definitely.
It's just not for us.
People have been raving about it. I've heard a lot of people raving about it all over the internet. So it's done something well. I looked at it. I don't think it'll be for me.
Hey, we'd like to know your thoughts as well. So.
Definitely.
Everyone there for the people then. So.
The last topic is this week.
We're not going to talk about The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
I thought we spoke about how great it is.
I mean, we spoke about it across the board with the other games, but I think we just have to really dive
Listen, all you need to know is that, look, we said it every game we compared it to. There's levels to this, and Last of Us showed the levels. That's what it is. Despite it being leaked, having to be pushed out earlier than they wanted to do it, other games got pushed out later and still managed to fumble the bag, but it is what it is, isn't it? So,
and if you don't like Last of Us 2, it was good enough. If you don't like Last of Us 2, it was good enough to get Neil Druckmann a promotion. So suck on it.
It is what it is. So, but honestly, if you have a PS4 or PS5, honestly, play The Last of Us Part 2. It might be a bit hard if you haven't played The Last of Us Part 1 because obviously there's a background story to it and everything like that. But if you can play both of them, I definitely recommend you do so.
Play all of these games.
I'm gonna make my parents play this game. I promise you. They're gonna play Last of Us 1 and they're gonna play Last of Us 2. And then when they ask me why I'm playing games for so long, I'll say
they'll understand. Yeah.
I think every game in the Game of the Year category is worth playing. Apart from never mind. I think every game in the Game of the Year category is worth playing. So if you have time to play any of them, go for it. If you haven't played them, there's a reason they're there.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Cool.
Final
All right.
segment.
Well, so that was our podcast for this week. I know a lot of stuff did come out, and I know it's been a bit
the
of
final
a long
segment.
one. Sorry.
I'm ready to give this.
The last one was the biggest winners and losers of the week. So, in the gaming community, who do we think has done well this week, and who has not done so well this week?
Should we start with winners?
God,
Well, it's very clear. There was one winner in everything this week, which of course was Neil Druckmann, Naughty Dog, and Last of Us Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
So they got nominated for, I think, for 11 awards, and I think they won about 7 or 8. So
eight, yeah.
That's
crazy.
So
clean sweep. Pretty. It felt like to be.
They won so many awards.
They were just being nice.
With Last of Us, Ghost, and Final Fantasy picking up the RPG one, they just picked up so many. Sorry, no. I was going to say PlayStation.
Yeah, PlayStation.
Naughty Dog and Last of Us have won. There's a reason I won't give PlayStation winners of the week, but we'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, definitely Last of Us. And you could throw in Neil Druckmann there. He won big, but not this week. He got his promotion a few weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
Big win.
Could you argue CD Projekt Red, you sold 8 million pre-sales, and it's the second most second
that was going to be my win
behind GTA.
Yeah, I was going to go with that. I know there's people out there that are saying, and
that's less of a win.
The spot brat, but money wise, that's a win for me, fam.
Yeah.
That's
more of a consolation prize, no?
Say again?
It's more of a consolation prize, though.
Listen, they've sold 8 million, £50 each. That's 400 million they've made.
There's only some people that are disappointed, and it's not the people with the money in their pocket. So there can be winners and losers on both sides.
If you weigh up to how much they lost through share prices, then I don't think it culminates in a win. It's like losing the World Cup final and then getting golden boot for one of your players.
Shout out to Messi still in it. So. Yes.
Losing the NBA finals. And
fair enough. Are there any other winners for the week?
I think it's Last of Us. They won the week, man.
Yeah, man. They've done a great job all year with what they produced on that game, and just over the years. But to win and clean sweep it on the awards, I feel like they got to the point they didn't even know what to say at some points. Every time they come to them about the winner, they're just sitting there like, well, we knew anyway,
And it's everyone who was involved who was winning. They had actresses nominated. They had the art team was nominated. The director was nominated, and then the entire team was nominated. Sound designers were nominated. They were just all over the place. I think that whole team, Last of Us and Naughty Dog, they're winners this week.
Yeah. 100%. And
are we giving it to one of them? So I think that's the top 3. Are we giving it to one?
Yeah.
Who are we saying?
For me, I would say The Last of Us, to be honest, because the Game of the Year awards are the biggest awards for the year. So, and you won so many awards. It's not that you just won 1 or 2. You won so many. So, yeah, I think The Last of Us.
Last of Us is the
agree.
Winner. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Last of Us as well.
Honorable mention to Jeff Keighley. Because the Game Awards, people argue it's just it's just an advertisement, but he works hard and puts that together every year, and it wasn't a boring show. Something you could put on and watch while you're playing a game, like FIFA or 2K, and it's something fun to have in the background. You get game announcements. Maybe people were upset that a certain game won, but I don't think it's bad.
I can't lie. I was going to complain about the adverts, though. There were a lot of adverts. But every 2 minutes.
That's how you pay for it, I guess. You can't afford to pay.
True.
One thing I will say is that maybe more time for speeches, because you're giving winners.
I think it's difficult to get the true emotion from the speeches though, because of the fact the way they had to.
Yeah, everyone's at home. Yeah,
and I think they still done a great job with it. So yeah, shout out to them.
I know Naughty Dog are happy with it, so good show.
Who took the L?
We know who took the L. You want to say I'm done? This was a big L. This was a Burj Khalifa sized L.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, shout out to Xbox as well. Winning nothing. That's Game of the Year awards. Big you up. You done well this generation.
They had announcements.
I do believe next gen they will do much better, but Xbox One generation need to throw that into the bin, mate. Yeah,
forget about
done,
it.
Mate. Yeah.
They ended on an L. They're in there.
Yeah.
How could you have your last year?
It was a very bad show from him. Yeah. Very, very bad show.
And this is the same week.
Anyone else that's taking a serious L?
I was going before we move. I was supposed to ask: is this the same week that they delayed? They told us that Halo's coming out next fall.
Yeah, next year.
This is an L week for Xbox, man.
But you know what? It's their flagship game. They have to get it right. They can't mess this one up, because after that people just lose trust in it. So they have to make sure that it's 9 out of 10.
They did.
10.
They had to get that right a month ago when the console came out. It's too late now. You ready to stop?
It's true. Literally, if it wasn't for Game Pass, honestly, I don't know where Xbox would be right now. To be honest, they will be lost, completely lost. But they've got a good partnership with Cyberpunk as well. So they've been doing a lot of stuff with them.
Yeah.
I think one of the Cyberpunk casts is in Forza Horizon 4 now as well. So that's a free download if you got Forza Horizon 4, which is good as well. So yeah, they are trying to take back little W's here and there.
The tiny these ones.
Is there an argument about Cyberpunk being there?
Is there an argument? This game took the L. Big L. It didn't look like an L early on in the week. It looked like it was just going to come out after we saw the reviews. But once people started playing it, all the bugs, the review scores being below... Is it below 3 or 4 at the moment?
Yeah.
I think it's below 3 on PS4 and Xbox.
Yeah, they took an L.
Yeah, it's very bad. Yeah.
Lower than Last of Us. Last of Us was review bombed. And it's lower than that.
That's mad, I didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
Lower than FIFA and Madden.
Especially Last of Us was rated before the game even came out as well. So people are rating it. Yeah, but Cyberpunk is very, very bad. I think it's got 6.7 on PC as well, for user scores as well. So
that's the best version.
It's not good at all, to be honest. But I think it's one of those things that it's going to grow on people. But to launch the game like that, CD Projekt Red, nah, I'm not happy with that at all.
I don't even think it has to grow. I think if you play it, you enjoy it. But actually, no, I'm taking this L away. It doesn't belong to CD Projekt Red. It belongs to CD Projekt Red fans. They all deserve a massive L delivered to their house because the pressure they put on CD Projekt Red to release this game.
Because each and every stand that was putting so much pressure on them.
All of you
talking, and there were a lot of them talking a lot of rubbish as well, saying that this game, we don't even know what this game is about to do, what this game is about to achieve, and all of that kind of stuff. All I've seen is that it's achieved one of the lowest scores on Metacritic user score. That's all I've seen it achieve.
They sound like quotes to me. So I'm
all right, Tony gets. We need Tony's address because he's getting one of these L's. Because if they didn't have the pressure, they could have delayed this till summer next year. They could have delayed it. Look at all the games that have been delayed quietly. Dying Light 2, that was meant to release like in February. It's not ready. Let's just hold it back. It's still not out. And by the end of 2020, now we're going into 2021. The pressure the fans gave, the death threats for delaying the game again. You are the reason. This is the first L we're giving out of this channel, and it belongs to you. Get it gold plated.
But to be honest, you have to remember that the game was meant to release in I think April or something like that.
Yeah,
and it didn't release. So CD Projekt Red have to take that L as well.
Yeah, but
because this should have been a PS4 and Xbox One game anyway.
Yeah.
It took them too long. But the L this week belongs to them because all of this happened because of them. If this game had reasonable expectations, it would have come out and people would have been like, this is buggy. But there's not as much pressure. They wouldn't have tried to do as much. When you're making a game halfway through and people are saying this is going to be the best game ever made, and you're like, oh, we should probably do more. These fans,
Shocking.
you deserve a big L.
Shocking. Yeah, hopefully they sort it out. But yeah, the stands and CD Projekt Red themselves. Yeah, you can collect this L still. So yeah, and anyone else this week?
No, that's it.
I
That man
think-
should hold that. Sit on that. Yeah, sit on that one.
Hold it to themselves, man.
Enjoy that L.
Oh,
Cool.
that's
All right, then. Once again, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. If you managed to stick around for this long, we really do appreciate it. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on anything that we said. If you don't agree with anything that we've said today,
Bring it.
let us know. We'll like to get cracking in the chat or whatever. Anyway, but yeah, it's all good. It's all love anyway. But thank you very much, and I hope you have a good one. Peace.
Peace.